In this session, we'll be doing our Henri Rousseau Jungle, and this is where I paint the monkey. So here's our monkey right here. We've made a good job getting right up to the edges of him. He's a little green on the sides and on the legs because we painted over that, but this is the beautiful part of painting. He is dry. You can see I can rub my fingers on here and the paint doesn't mix up. That means the paint is totally dry and we can paint right over the top of it. So I'm going to start by, you should have one water cup to dump your clean fresh water into a little individual washing out pan. You should have paper towel to dry your brush on, an empty water cup to put your dirty water in when you're done, a palette paper to put your paint on, and of course a brush to paint with. So here's a little bit of brown for our monkey. I'm actually going to add in some yellow to my brown for my monkey because I want him to be not so all the way on the brown side. I'm also going to get some white so that I can make tints, and I'm going to get a little bit of black so I can make shades as well. You really don't need a lot of black for this, so I'm going to make sure my brush is pretty dry. Remember, this is tempera paint, so we don't want it to be watery. And I'm just going to start by mixing a little bit of brown with some yellow to make a yellowish brown. I don't want it so yellow brown that it matches my my giraffe, but I want it yellow brownish, and I'm going to just take a little bit of white and mix it in to kind of get a light tint of yellow brown. There's my lightish yellow brown. Okay, you can guys see that. Now I'm going to take very careful time and paint the edges of him. And if you need to, this would be a good point where you could use a detail brush. Right here on the legs, it's going to get a little close, and it might be a little hard for us to paint it if you don't have a detail brush. So you can use a detail brush. I will have the detail brushes out so that you can use them. Simply ask or tell me what part you're working on so that I can get them for you. The detail brushes look something like this. If you see, this is our regular brush. It's thicker. These ones are thinner, and you use the detail brush to paint small details. I'm just going to get it wet so it's ready to paint, and I'm going to dry it off. And I'm going to use it here. I'm going to get some paint, and I'm going to use it to paint on the legs of my monkey. Okay? Very easy. Very simple. It's much easier to get into those small detail areas if you've got a small paintbrush. And notice how I have to go back and get new paint pretty often. Okay. And I'm going to do the rest of his arms here. And you want to make the paint thick enough on his arms so that you don't see the blue of the sky or the green of the grass. I'm going to put some little fingertips on the edge of the branch here, because remember his fingers were hanging right up there at the top of the branch. Now I'm going to get some more yellow for his face, to make his face kind of a yellowish brown, a lighter yellow right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this light yellow, I'm going to add just a little water into it to make it thinner. I'm going to actually just paint over his whole face like this. A little more brown and mix it in. And later, you want to be able to just see a little faint face through there so we can Sharpie over it at the end. I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to swipe it off on my paper towel here. I'm not going to use any water, but I'm going to swipe it off on my paper towel and get some white. And since my paint is still wet, I'm going to add a little white belly in here just like I did on my bird. Okay, just like that. I'm going to get some more white and add his eyes on, just a little drop of white, like that. And we're going to leave the rest to our Sharpie later. Now, since I got a little bit on him, or from him onto the green grass, I'm going to go back later and fix that with some paint. But for now I have to let it dry. Okay, and that is concluding the monkey.